Hello everyone and welcome back to the 3T Path channel. My name is Giridhari. And today I want to read for you a beautiful verse from Bhagavad Gita that goes right to the point, right on the mark of what's really bothering us, what's bringing us all the confusion of life, all the troubles in our life. What is the one thing, where does it all start? It's what this verse is about. I'll be reading from Bhagavad Gita, verse 34, chapter 3. I'll read the Sanskrit first and then the translation. And the translation is from the book, The Bhagavad Gita Comes Alive by Jeffrey Armstrong. Now here's the verse. Indriyasyendriyasyārthe rāgadveṣau vyavasthitau tayor vaśam āgacchet asya paripanthinau. Translation. By our nature, the senses are automatically raga or dvesha, attracted or repulsed by various material objects. One should not come under the control of either of these impulses. Now, this is the very bedrock concept of yoga. What's going wrong? Rāgadveṣau. That's why he left it in the Sanskrit. Rāgadveṣau. Very important two little words in Sanskrit for you to get in the yoga path. Rāgadveṣau. Raga, you wanted. Your senses, eyes, nose, ears, sexual organs. Rāgadveṣau. You wanted. Or dvesha, you don't want it, you're scared of it. It gives you fear, anxiety. You want this, you don't want that, you want this, you don't want that. And you notice, then you go through your whole day, your whole life, oh, this I want, that I don't want, this I want, that I don't want. The whole day, rāgadveṣau drives you mad. Your mind is like all the time, oh, I want this, no, I don't want that. Especially, in our modern lifetime, with so much advertising and in contact with so many people and with social media. So we're seeing all these things and we're like, oh, I want this, oh, I don't want that. You're seeing these horrible scenes like, oh, I don't want that, I'm afraid of all those things. And then you see all those beautiful, beautiful people, the rich, beautiful people, oh, I want that and I want that life. And rāgadveṣau all the time. Now this drives you mad. Now, so what is Krishna saying? Don't come under the control of these impulses. So what happens when something controls you? What do you have to do? You have to become more powerful, right? That's the way to come out of the control of something. You become more powerful. You leave the sphere of influence of that thing that's controlling you. You become more powerful. You rise above it. So what yoga is saying then, the whole path of yoga is we have to strengthen the mind. We have to make the mind stronger so they can resist the impulse of rāgadveṣau and no longer be under control of rāgadveṣau. See, that's the whole point of yoga. Like if you're just in rāgadveṣau, that is just material consciousness and it brings a lot of confusion. In rāgadveṣau, in the past, you're lamenting the past because you were living in rāgadveṣau, so you made a mess of your life. And in the present, because there's so many demands of rāgadveṣau, you're in a state of confusion and uncertainty. And in the future, rāgadveṣau, it just brings you anxiety and frustration thinking about all the future rāgadveṣau. So we're in a constant state of anxiety, lamentation, confusion, and anxiety because we're in rāgadveṣau. So we want to rise above that by strengthening the mind. Now, how do you strengthen the mind? Well, that's the whole path of yoga. And so many different techniques and things you have to do and lifestyle choices to rise above, to make your mind stronger. It's a lot of things. And in my book, The 3T Path, I lay it all out and explain it. You might say, oh, it's a lot of things, so it's bad. But actually, it's good that it's a lot of things because then it's easy to work on everything. You work a bit here and a bit there. And the whole package, the package works. Like when you put everything together, it really works. I mean, you see, the little things work, but when you put them together, they really work. So it's a very powerful system. That's why it's been around for thousands of years and more people are taking to it now because it really works. Just to give you a brief idea of what these different things are, in my book, The 3T Path, I speak about the 5 avenues of perfection. Mindfulness, bring your mind to the here and now. Dharma, living a life of purpose. inner peace, knowing to manage and deal with your emotions, jnana, cultivating knowledge as you're doing watching this video, and bhakti, cultivating devotion. This is just the 5 major avenues where you're going to be working towards your perfection. And behind all these, there's lifestyle choices. What we talk about the gunas, where you have your lifestyle supports this mental conscious growth of your being. So all these things, you work on all these things and you make your mind more powerful. So then what happens? Does rāgadveṣa just disappear? Do you just not feel attraction, or you're not repulsed by anything? No, that's not it. Rāgadveṣa are still there. It's very interesting. People think, you're not going to become a rock, or a piece of wood. I don't feel it. No, that's not it. We don't it doesn't cease to exist, rāgadveṣa, but you're no longer under the control of either of these impulses. That's the state we want to get to. Not that we're not going to recognize them. You won't, I don't have any attraction. No, you don't come under their control because your mind is now stronger. So the rāgadveṣa is still there, but you're like, I'm not under the control of rāgadveṣa. Instead, I'm in control. I command my life. That's what yoga is doing. You become strong enough so that you are in command of your life. You decide the path you want to take, and not that you're under the control of rāgadveṣa. Do you see the difference? Because when you're under the control of rāgadveṣa, you're not in command. You're under the control of rāgadveṣa, the demands of the senses. So there's this classic image you might have seen, or you'll run into if you stick to this path long enough. It's from the Upanishads, and you have a carriage with a ghostly, scared-looking person. That's the soul. And this carriage has these 5 horses, and they're all looking a little mad and crazy. And these horses are dragging this poor soul who's in the carriage. The carriage is the body, and the 5 horses are the 5 senses, and the driver of the carriage is your mind, and the soul is the passenger. It's like the soul's like, what's going on? Because it's not in control. The mind and the senses are dragging it all over the place, life after life. Life after life, that's the problem. But then now, with yoga, you become strong, so now you're going to take charge of your carriage, of your horses. You're going to be in charge. And what path are we going to take? Now we decide that the best path is the path of Dharma. So now I will live a life of Dharma, focusing on my ultimate, supreme Dharma of enlightenment, of being myself, a coming self-realization, to be myself, in the devotional path, with God, in the kingdom of God. I'm going to be myself and no longer be under the control of rāgadveṣa. So it's a very important point, very important verse, very bedrock of yoga concept philosophy. Like, this is the problem, this is exactly the problem, and we have to rise above it. We have to strengthen our mind, rise above it, and then follow the right path of Dharma and Bhakti. So that's it. Let me know if you understood these points. Leave any comments if you have any questions, and have your rest of your day with lots of peace and lots of love.